Hello, everyone. Welcome back from break. My name is Jeff Pelletier. I'm principal and founder of Born and Vellum Architecture and Design. I'm a certified passive house consultant here tonight with Alex Semke from Hammer in Hand, who built this project. I'll be walking through the design, and Alex will be walking through how we actually built this thing. So I guess we can start the clock. Okay. So the Ballard Locks Residence is a whole house remodel requiring a reimagining of a tired, inefficient, and challenging 1980s remodel of a 1937 house. Here's some of the before photographs. It was kind of a medley of ideas here. The goal was to provide a convenient base for the clients to commute to work. They're both avid bikers, so finding the right location was really key to this project. The requirement to limit the impact of their footprint on the neighborhood by cycling to work helped become the sustainable cornerstone of this project. We saw the potential for this home to be an energy efficient, long-lasting, and beautiful home for them to treasure for years by integrating accessible, sustainable strategies. I will not refrain from saying that we upcycled for cyclists, but I will say that's my last bad pun of the night. Okay. So it was our client's idea, and they were awesome clients, to rehab an older structure. They believed, and we concurred, that there was inherent value in what was already there. We found a structure that was badly in need of a redesign, though. The main floor was very dark and had almost no connection to the upper level, as you can see on the left. When you walked up the central staircase, it was a huge surprise. It felt like a different house. Removing the shackles of the lackluster 1980s remodel and modernizing the home to last for decades more, this house reaps the benefits of salvaging embodied energy while looking towards the future. In terms of the layout, the master bedroom used to be at the front of the house, with an exterior door right next to the main front door. In fact, there were almost countless exterior doors, and they likely all leaked a lot of air. So we reduced the number of exits and created a layout that worked better with the 2 guest rooms at the front and the master suite at the back of the property. What was likely a teardown because of a bad layout is now a house with a great modern floor plan. The program, and this is the before photograph of the upstairs, the program called for a layout of open living spaces focused on the breathtaking Olympic mountain views, connected by a central hall in lieu of the chopped up and dated floor plan that you see here. Our design brief was focused to take full advantage of the views, but more importantly, button up the house to improve air quality. It was really, really hot, stuffy, miserable, overheated. It just wasn't built right. We kept all the existing framing that we could and packed it with insulation. We provided a seamless air barrier around everything, and we added an HRV, and the new house now feels clean and fresh and comfortable. We specified great new windows and opened up the second floor, which allowed the light from the upper floor to spill down to the main floor. The end result is a generous entry and a house that feels cohesive and with generous daylighting drawing you throughout the home. The house now feels connected across all levels. Okay, here's the house now. Making this older home work required some additional areas to meet our program needs as well. Above the addition in the metal-clad tower on the west, which you'll see in the next slide, is a double-sided office. We needed a room that feels integral to the main living area, which is wide open, but also a space that could easily be closed off to conceal the clutter that an office typically contains. This addition allows for generous main floor entry and helped close off the previously awkward access to the rear yard. You used to walk up staircase and then walk back down to the yard. The kitchen is where people spend most of their time, so we relocated it from the middle of the upper floor to the opposite corner for immediate access to the gorgeous views. The new layout also works much better for entertaining, no longer divides the space. The modern built-in cabinetry is integral to the architecture of the home. It can be easy to overlook the incredible attention to detail that transforms the house into a home that sustainably looks to the future while not ignoring the legacy of the past. Here's the outside of the house. Beyond these layout solutions, we focused on sustainable elements throughout the home. This includes equipping the upper floor powder room with a combination sink toilet. The water used to wash your hands refills the tank, so we reduce water consumption and provide a really awesome talking point for guests. We salvaged a lot of material in the house, plumbing fixtures, cabinets, anything we could, including flooring, to maintain the embodied energy that was already built into the house. The generous roof, product of a 1980s remodel, allowed for excellent southern exposure to fuel the home's new solar system. Beyond the obvious benefits of solar, the panels help divert heat away from the structure. Now the upper floor, even with all that glass, stays really comfortable while maintaining access to those great views. The house didn't even have eaves originally, so we added them for shading, weatherproofing, and an aesthetic update. We wanted the house to look great for a very long time. And now this formally dated 1980s roofline and remodel works perfectly for a great modern living. So Zach, take us through.
Thanks, Jeff. So Jeff mentioned the notion of upcycling, and I just want to say a couple things about that. Probably most of the people in the room right now are familiar with upcycling. So upcycling is taking something old and making it new, and giving it new utility, new relevancy. So as a builder, hammer in hand, will often upcycle salvage materials, like we'll dismantle an old barn and use the wood in flooring or in siding. Upcycling can also be used for objects, which is cool because there often is some nice symbolism with that. So on this project, a bike wheel is being upcycled as a place to hang pots and pans. But we're also, when we're doing remodeling, we're actually upcycling buildings, because we're taking old buildings that are obsolete, that no longer are working for our clients, and we're transforming them for the patterns of their lives now. And hopefully giving them another century of life. For Hammer in Hand, as a company of carpenters, for us the most fundamental form of sustainability is to build to last. And I think for designers, the most fundamental form of sustainability is to design so that people care about a space and that they will care for a space for decades. And so our first green move with this project was to combine those two notions of sustainability, and then on top of that, to add some accessible green improvements to improve the energy efficiency of the place and to make it a really comfortable and healthy place to live. So a couple of folks have talked about HRVs, heat recovery ventilation, and the HRV is an awesome thing, and so I want to say a little bit about that strategy. The HRV provides fresh air to this house, and the old way of doing HVAC is essentially to recirculate air, which ends up being stale air inside, and then maybe to grab some new air from unsavory places like crawl spaces or through the old building materials of a wall. Well, an HRV is totally different. So it has a dedicated exhaust that is exhausting stale air out, and then a dedicated intake of filtered fresh air. And what's going on with this is that the honeycombs inside this HRV create tons of surface area, so that these two air streams, while they never mix, as they pass each other, the heat energy or cool energy in the exhaust air is captured by the fresh air that's coming into the house. And so essentially it's like having a bunch of windows open in terms of the fresh air that brings, with none of the heat loss. So a really key thing, and we love HRVs. So we also mentioned that we added insulation to the walls. That by definition, of course, decreases the amount of energy that's going through the wall. And that by definition decreases the drying potential of a wall. And we know that we don't want moisture inside of our walls. That's bad for building durability and building health. So we've got to do something to counteract that and to increase the drying capacity of the wall again. And that's what a rain screen is for. For us, the most important thing about a rain screen is that ventilated cavity between the siding and the rest of the wall assembly, because that cavity there allows tons and tons of air to move through and to dry out the wall. So a key component of this project and really important for durability and building health. So then Jeff and his team did a great job of maintaining the really great solar or southern exposure of the roof, so that we could add, and we have this is now in place, add a solar array to offset much of the energy consumption of the house. So what we've done is created this accessible green package for the clients and for this project, and it's one that we hope that the clients will enjoy for a very long time, and we're really grateful to the clients for allowing us to work on the project. Thanks.
Thank you.